Hello, it is Zoid813 here, your resident dungeon master, for Fool's Bounty, of course. And I have a little bit of news. You see, what would have been today's episode 11. Now, I know if you're watching this, you're like, but wait, Zoid, this is episode 11. It clearly says so in the thumb and the thing. Absolutely correct. But today's episode 11 was supposed to be episode 12, because the real episode 11 is a different episode. Now, what happened? There was a technical error on my end, which caused audio capture for Jay and Damian to basically be non-existent. Take full responsibility for that, and unfortunately, you get this. Of course, there's going to be a recap in the beginning of this episode for what would have happened. It's a very brief one. Really, it was an entire encounter battle, and the recap that you're about to hear coming up pretty much sums it up. So I do apologize if it feels, you're going to notice that there's a definite gap between episode 10 and episode 11 because this was supposed to be episode 12. But my deepest apologies. Hope you guys can forgive me. And more importantly, hope you guys enjoy this and, yeah, enjoy. All right, everybody. Welcome back to yet another episode of Fool's Bounty here. We're kind of getting towards the end of our second part of Season 1, thankfully. Quick introductions. We have Damian playing Carib, Jay playing Amon, and once again, I am your Dungeon Master for this series. And we're going to move straight into our recap so we can kind of push this along here. So, the last episode, you guys were kind of getting through that rocky spine terrain where Amon let Billie Jean come out for a little while he kind of took a back seat, and he basically boosted the horses that you guys were using, the spectral horses that are conjured, gave them an amp up, and you guys were flying through. In the process, Carib did end up losing a little bit of control, which lost some rations, and also breaking a wheel. During the time you guys attempted to fix the wheel, Carib was backpedaling a little bit just to try and salvage what he could when he got ambushed by a large, insanely large wolf that had its own spines. And after a gruesome battle of turning that wolf into a sickening Beyblade, as well as just chaos. You guys did eventually kill the wolves. You kind of replenished your rations overall, got some wolf hide, and are now back on your way. So you guys did, at the end of the night, cleared out that passageway overall. And so really you guys are kind of on the last leg of your journey to where you guys can finally get to Threxa, which is your final destination there. I'd say we'll kind of pick up from there. So from that point, it's been roughly 2 days since you guys have made it out of the canyon. You guys have maybe less than 5 days or so to finally get to where you're going. Things are looking pretty well. Do you guys have any kind of?
Oh, we were closer.
No, you guys shaved off time, but you were still. The journey itself was a few weeks journey.
All right.
But you guys are a few days out, basically.
What's the terrain look
Once
like?
again.
You've cleared the stony area, and you're now into more of like a forest or more of a plains-ish area. So there's not as many trees. It's more just kind of open plains and fields. It's pretty smooth across. Pretty temperate
All right.
overall.
Need a new DM. I feel like I'm being robbed too much in this campaign.
But my fault you can't remember nothing.
I want to turn to Amelia, and so are we? Is our horses are still conjured Amelia's horses and stuff?
Yeah, so every day she ends up just pulling them back up. So you guys have those normal conjure horses again.
Amelia, how much more time do we have before we reach the shores to Thraxia?
Well, at our current pace, we should get there at least to the coast to then try and get to Threx in about maybe another 4 days. If we push hard, we can maybe get there in about 3 or so. But then that could put us at a disadvantageous spot if something were to try and ambush us again. But I'd say average about 4 days if we just keep our current pace.
I'm just
Okay.
saying this trip has been the longest trip of my goddamn life. We just need to get there, be done with it.
Well, then, do you know how to do the trick that Billie Jean did with the?
You think if I knew how to damn ghost ride these goddamn horses, we would have done it already?
I don't know.
Whoa.
Maybe. Um.
Okay.
Well, is there any way that we can, Amelia, that you think that we can get even remotely close to that speed, even, or if there's anything that you may have caught, you know what I mean, that might be able to speed us up a little bit?
To the speeds that he got, I'm not sure, but I mean, we could definitely go for a double time pace and just burn through this day if that's what you guys really want to do.
Alright, I'll let you come out. Can you carry the horses up? You can kill the girl. You can
You
kill the girl.
no. You leave him alone. You leave him inside for a little bit.
You
Keep the
know,
genie in the bottle.
I'm actually quite busy right now. Actually, maybe next time.
Fucker, you
Um,
in my head. What are you doing?
Right,
we've
right.
got
Well,
pretty
there's things I do. There's things I do.
we got pretty even planes and pretty straight visibility. I don't see why it wouldn't be safe to double time. You know, for at least as far as as far as the grounds are, flat.
Okay. So she will. All right, duly noted. And she will reach down under where she kind of keeps like the reins where she's sitting there, pull out a few pouches, and she will start uttering, and you'll see a little flecks of little arcane signatures in the air, and the horses themselves don't really grow in size, but their essence is a little bit stronger now. They're not as ethereal. They're a little bit more of a physical form, and there's more physical ice looking aspects on them, and they begin booking it. They're not nearly as fast as when Billie Jean took over, but you guys are moving about double pace now. So you guys can easily clear out through today and probably cover enough ground to get you guys 2 days worth of travel time out of the way completely without any issues. I'm not gonna make you guys roll for that there. It isn't until the third day though, where you you guys start leaving out of the plains area, and it becomes a little bit more marshy. So picking up speed and going fast is going to be harder just because there's a muddy element to it. But it's becoming a more marshy terrain as you guys are getting more towards this coast that is marked down on the map, which is going to give you a better access point to the island which Threxton is on.
If it's okay with Amon, I think we should probably go at a normal pace through the marsh, just so that we don't get a wheel stuck or we don't find anything that's like that looks like solid ground but isn't.
Yeah, that's fine.
I need one of you or both of you to roll me a d20, please.
Why don't we both do it and see what happens?
I got 20.
Dirty or natural?
Natural.
I got a 12, so I'm gonna go with his 20. If I can add my 12 to his 20.
So it's going to kind of take different things. So with Amon's getting agitated now to the point where he is feeling confined being in the cart and traveling for so long. He wants to get out and stretch. So he is looking at every opportunity he can a reason to get outside the cart, even on top of the cart. And he's able to pick up where there are patches where the marsh terrain is a little bit more solid, and to where there's not as much debris and shrubbery, and you guys are able to go and clear through and keep a decent pace, a little bit faster than normal, a steady pace would be. So you guys are still making good momentum. Carib, though, as the day grows on and you're watching Amon feel more restless and he's pointing out different things, you're catching shadows from the corners of your eyes. Sometimes it looks like something standing by a random tree. Sometimes it looks like something is in one of the canopy tops, and there was even a moment where you could have sworn that there was something in the back of the cart whenever you thought Amon was back there still rustling around. But it's been going about a half a day or so. You're getting these shadows that kind of blip in and out.
Do they look familiar to the ones I saw in the canyon when I went to go see Amon, and then again at the beginning of the rocky terrain?
you get the essence that these would be similar in form, but much closer than what they've been so far.
I want to note to Amon and Amelia. Hey guys, remember those shadowy figures I mentioned? Um, Amon, I thought I saw them with you, and then Amelia, I think I mentioned it to you when we were in the rocky terrain. I'm seeing them again, and they appear to be closer to the cart. I mean, almost. I could have sworn one of them was actually in the back of the cart.
Maybe you still take a nap.
I agree. You might just be stressed and tired from the journey overall. You might want to take advantage if possible. It seems like me and Amon kind of have it pretty well so far.
Okay.
Speak for yourself. I'm doing pretty good for myself.
Um, is there anything in the environment that would make me feel like there's a magical or a spiritual presence?
You can certainly. So you're trying to just physically sense something within the area, or are you trying to ascertain like terrain
Well,
stuff?
one of my things is that I do. Excuse me here. Features. I do have Hunter's Bane, so if there's any like Fae or fiends, undead, or any type of you know, cursed creature or anything of that nature, I should be able to, detect them or at least try to see traces of them with my Hunter's Bane. So I'm just trying to see if there's anything that falls within that spectral, ghost hunter. So
Okay.
uh,
Roll me an Arcana with advantage.
rolling Arcana with advantage. First one is 11. Second one is a 19. So
Okay. So you kind of take a moment to really gather your thoughts and just kind of expand your general insight and your feeling of the area as you're taking it all in. There are blips where there's very weak Fey essence. Nothing that you really feel privy that's what it is you've been seeing. These ones seem more like part of a tree may have some like Fey essence on it. Something in the water may have had something at some point, but it's more very scattered and very light. As you're actually sensing this and feeling it, you do feel a separate essence overall. That's not one that you're normally privy to picking up as easily. You're not quite sure what it is, but the second essence you pick up is moving. It seems like one moment it'll be here, the next moment will be 5 feet over, and you can't tell if it's just one that's moving or if there's just multiple that are blipping in and out. They don't seem to have any negative presence towards you, but you can sense these just weird bloop, bloop.
Okay. So what I'd like to do is, since both of my compadres seem to think that I need some rest, what I'd like to do is kind of go in the back and just kind of set myself on a meditative alert, where I'm kind of in a meditative state, but I'm just really just what I'm trying to do is just let things just kind of feel, and if anything kind of comes, I'm resting my eyes, but I'm still kind of like at the ready, only because I by that sense, I don't think I'm crazy. In other words, right now I'm like, I don't think I'm crazy. I know that they don't see it, but I don't think I'm crazy. My gut is telling me just be aware.
It's exactly what a crazy person will say, but not a problem. So you make your way into you find a comfy part of the cart that Amon hasn't already made his own. The back of the cart is Amon's space. That's where he always is. So his shit is everywhere. He has made it very comfortable for himself to be in there, and you find a little corner nook that you're like, okay, this isn't claimed, so I'll sit here. And you begin going through this process. Roll me a d12, please. And while doing that, Amon, Billie Jean has been like in and out of conversation with you the last few days that you've been traveling, especially since the last time that you let him take out or come out. And he hasn't really been bugging you too much about been coming out more. You would expect, since you've given him the reins, that he would be a little bit more excited, like, hey, when can I come out again? But he's been very quiet compared to normal. Even when you have taken rests, you've actually gotten rest. You haven't gone to the infinite staircase that you're used to going to seeing him.
You got this room. Do you need one for the next 15, 20 minutes? I'm gonna
Huh?
go to the back of the car.
You're going to the back of the cart?
Yeah,
With me?
you're sleeping. Mind your business.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, no problem. So Amelia's like, okay, you gotta do something real quick. But then I definitely would appreciate having some company as we go through this. I don't want to be the only one.
I mean, I trust you. You figure it. So I'll go to the back of the car and I'm gonna sit there and try to meditate. Trying to see what's up with Billy. What's going through his mind of Billy.
Do I sense that Amon just barged into the back of the cart where I was trying to?
Sleepy.
Well,
Not
you're used to Amon always moving, especially the last few days. He's been very restless. So you're used to feeling him move overall. It's not uncommon for him to jump in the back, jump in the front, crawl up to the top, and lay out there for a bit, complaining why it's taking so long and stuff like that. So you're used to him moving. I would say you would feel him move, but you wouldn't see it as anything that's unusual.
Okay, but I am aware that he is in the
Just
back
go into
with
the
me.
darkness.
Yeah, you could be aware he's
Just
there
go
with you.
into the darkness.
Okay, I know. Just I'm probably gonna, you know,
Go into the
I would be
darkness. Enjoy
nah,
your sleep.
nah. Carib would sit there and be like, okay, Amon's back here with me. Uh, you know, she's up there by herself.
Amon, can you roll me a d12 as well, please?
By the way, I got
D12.
I got a
D12.
4.
You got a 4? Okay.
Yeah. Um, so like there would probably be a ticking timer in my brain, even if I have to
4.
peek.
You got a 4 as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
That hold on. My puppy's scratching because that's pretty loud and annoying, isn't it?
Oh, I didn't even notice it.
I'm not
Oh, you
paying
can't hear
attention
it?
to it.
Oh, okay.
We can hear it, but nobody's paying attention to it.
Nah.
Okay.
We'll,
I
we'll,
didn't know how loud it was coming
we'll
through to you
chalk it
guys.
up as
We
an
can hear it. It's
ambiance.
just not annoying or anything. It's just background
Yeah,
noise.
it's good. It'll get drowned out anyways, and post editing with music that gets overlaid. It's fine.
Okay.
So we'll go and start with Amon. So Amon, you're sitting there and
I'm just sitting there with my eyes closed.
yeah. So you go into this meditative stance, and you're sitting there a few minutes, and you're like, okay, how does this shit work? Like, why isn't it going through? And as you're like, whatever, fuck it, I'll just talk to him later. Your mind goes blank, and you find yourself, as you're still rambling on, fuck this shit, I'll just talk to him later. You're walking through that infinite staircase right now.
Oh shit! That's how you get here. You just yeah. Damn, that's stupid.
And
So I threw myself back. I mean, staircase. Well, yeah.
while you're walking and calling for Billie Jean, roll me a perception check real quick.
11.
All right, so as you're walking through it you're sitting there calling him, and it feels like it's been a while since you've been walking, and you're kind of getting a little annoyed, so you begin looking around, and you realize that some of the doors, there's no longer odd symbols or languages you can't comprehend. There are names on some of these doors.
Cool. My camera cut out. It's frozen. It's
There we go.
today.
Damn, looks like the sun came through.
Oh, that's because of the TV. You want me to turn off the light? I can turn off the light. It'll just be dark and shit.
No. It's just whenever it turned back on, it was like, oh, and then faded away.
Well, I don't know what to say. Alright. Can I read the fucking names?
Yeah. You're walking through, and some of them are very common names that they don't jar anything.
Can you tell me a couple of them?
Yeah, there's one that's like Ezekiel. There is Timothy.
Hey, who's Ezekiel?
There's
What
one
else
that
do you
reads
think was I
as
gonna do with these
Stone.
names? Who?
Stone.
Hey, did you stone Ezekiel?
And so it's not every door, but you realize that every now and then there's a door
Can I
that
go in the
has a
doors?
name on it. You can try it.
I want to go into Ezekiel.
Okay. Go
Feels
ahead and
more biblical.
put your okay. So you're gonna open it.
Look, alright.
Okay. So you go and reach out and to go and touch for the handle or however you want to pull on it. And there's vibrations coming from the door. You're not used to. Usually everything is still and quiet. You grab onto it and you kind of feel pulsing energy coursing through you a little bit. Nothing that gets you amped up like oof, but you get this feeling of being a little bit stronger. Um,
What kind
but
of vibrations? This is like super tense or mellow.
it's like a pulse. It's like a pulsing vibration. Like it's
Right. I'll put my butt cheeks to the damn door, see if what kind of vibrations I get.
it's like a boom 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 boom
We
boom
got
boom.
these on these dildos, man. They're not getting the right pulse.
But the door still does not open. It's locked.
Can I use my cancer to you take it up a little bit, see if it opens?
You've never attempted to use magic yet, have you?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Even when I was supposed to, I didn't.
Okay. Go for it. Go for it. What spell are you using?
The cancer that I got that I can,
Thaumaturgy?
yeah,
Where you
that
tried
thing.
doing the little vibration last time?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if the vibration. I don't know.
Okay. Um Now are you doing this while still holding onto the door or are you stepping away from the door? What are you doing?
I'm gonna put my hand on the
Alright.
fucking meat of the door just to
Okay.
shake the whole door, see if the lock unlocks or the door comes off the hinge. Just see something.
Alright. So you go ahead and place your hand onto the door and you begin, you know, swelling up the energy to go and cast thaumaturgy. And you still feel that strength coming from the door as you're touching it. And when you release thaumaturgy, instead of the mild vibration or that you were used to that last time you cast it, it there's a loud reverberating crashing sound, and you are thrown backwards over the ledge. And before you begin descending down, uh, Billie Jean there is, and he ends up catching you by the back. And goes, whoa, 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 friend! You gotta be careful. This is dangerous. But anyways, you rang. How can I help you?
First off, can you get me back onto the goddamn ledge instead of holding me and talking me?
Mm.
I don't think this power dynamic here.
Not a problem. I don't mind doing you a favor at all. And he
No,
goes
no,
ahead
no, no,
and
no, no,
he
no,
puts.
no.
Oh, you don't. So you just want me
Just
to
drop
hold
me.
you
You
up
don't
here?
fucking just drop me. I'd rather you just drop me than me owe you a favor.
It's all right. Cause we're friends. I'm gonna do you this favor. And he
Oh, that's
plops you
where we
back
are
onto the
at now.
steps.
When I called you like 45 minutes ago, you didn't want to be my friend then.
I was busy. It's not that we ain't friends. I was busy.
Okay, what are you busy doing?
That's my business. I don't get into your business all the time,
Bitch, you're in my head. You know all of my business.
but I don't get into it. Mm. He gives you the same look back. I don't get into it. I
Listen,
let you do
I'm
you.
being straightforward. My mama lost her legs because of you.
No, she lost her leg because of Carib's dad. I had nothing to do with that.
That's neither here nor there. Fuck his daddy. But that we're not getting into that.
Well,
Who's
anyways,
Ezekiel?
it's just a nobody. Well, not anymore. Anyways,
Clearly,
he's
clearly it was somebody.
exactly. Exactly. He was somebody. He ain't nobody no more.
Listen, I don't care how many people you kill. That's between you and your god or demon or whatever you want to call it.
Well, I'm glad to know. I have things I got to do. Anyways, how can I help you?
We need to get to know each other.
Oh, okay. and you watch as he kind of moves his hands in these weird circular motions, and the stairwell you're used to being in begins to sort of spiral and stretching out around you before you are in this dim candlelit room, and he's
When
sitting
I said get to know each other, I didn't mean like this.
he's sitting across from a table,
Okay. I was
and
about to say, you
goes,
owe me dinner at least first.
well, you want to get to know each other? Let's get to know each other. How I give you 3 questions.
Only 3 questions.
I'm very my schedule is so flooded. I'm very busy.
Okay. Question one. Number one. What is your intention?
Hmm.
Said
Hmm.
3 questions.
I did. This is true. And honestly, my intentions are very wholesome. Um, I just I just want to explore, and I want to continue my work.
You're not gonna get me to use another question on what's your work. That's my.
You asked my intention. My intention is to
What is
finish
your
my
end
work.
game?
To finish my work. I just said that. That's 2 questions.
No.
It's a game of wits.
I'm gonna fuck. Hmm. What is the likelihood of me surviving that week when you're done your work?
Uh, I would say pretty high. I have no my work has no intentions of causing any harm or death upon you. I mean, if it happens, there's always a chance, but that's is a good likelihood that you'll be fine.
Seeing how I've already given you control of my most when you ask, give me a friendly fourth question.
You know what? As a favor to a friend, I'll give you a 4th question.
Why you keep using the goddamn word favor when we both know ain't no favors being exchanged?
It's a you want to get to know me. I've given you the 3 questions. Like I said, my schedule is chock full today. I have so much things to do. But as a favor to my dearest friend in this current existence, I will do this favor for you and give you a full free question.
Existed, so meaning there was more people.
All right. Neither here nor there. Was that your question?
No. What is your work?
Hmm. It's really hard to put into words, but if I had to put it into words to where you could understand it, it simply is freedom.
You want to be free.
Doesn't everybody want to be free?
So what's holding you back from being free?
Hmm. I guess we'll have to finish this conversation next time.
Well, this by the page.
But it's been fun, friend. And you watch as the room begins to coalesce and stretch back into the staircase that you're using. You're kind of standing back in front of Ezekiel's door where he had left you. And from here, we're going to jump over to Damian. So, Damon, you were beginning your meditative state as you felt Amon go and plop down in the back with you. Um, and there's a weird, an odd moment where you're still feeling those energies around because you're still pretty much in tune. You haven't, unattuned from it since you gather that information. Um, but Amon's energy ends up almost flowing over to you a little bit. So not only do you physically know Amon is there, but you feel an energy and it connects. And you go into a trance to where your mind goes blank. And for a moment, you're floating before you begin falling. And you're falling for a few minutes before you finally smack onto the ground. It doesn't hurt, but it's solid. And as you open your eyes and finally begin to understand your surroundings, you are currently, again, I don't know the names for these. It's the same stupid rocks that I was saying. Think of Lucifer, right? You've seen Lucifer. In hell, how it's that area. It's similar to that. It's that type of landscape, and there are variety of iron doors with chains wrapped around them.
Okay.
But as you stand up, the door that you're currently in front of has a window on it or a glass pane, and as you're looking through, you can see Amon sitting across from Billie Jean at a table having a conversation. You can't hear what they're saying, but you can see that there's an exchange of dialogue happening.
What does Billie Jean look like to me?
Billie Jean looks like Amon. He looks like Amon whenever he took over. Whenever Amon last let him out, and he just kind of looked a little bit more jagged, a little bit darker than what Amon currently is. That's the form that he was currently in.
Okay. And so what I'm in is a room with a door with a chain on it, and I'm looking through. Well, not room. There's the canyons with the rocks and stuff like that, and I'm looking through a door to him on inside of a room at a table.
Correct. So yeah, so there's a door inset into this rock formation, and on it there's a small window pane where you're able to see through and can see this happening. But it's not the only door. There are others. Some have windows and some don't.
Um, so I can't hear what they're saying, but by the body language, it just looks like they're having a conversation.
Looks like they're having a nice casual conversation. You can see, Billie Jean kind of smiling here and there. You can see Amon, throw a smile and looks like he's trying to figure out what next to really talk about. But there's an even exchange of dialogue, and it looks very casual. It doesn't look like anything's heated or anything like that.
All right. So I look for a moment just to establish, that there's a dialogue going on, and I'll just make a mental note to ask him on about it later. I want to go to another door, um, the closest door to my right, um, and see if I can look through it.
Okay.
Or is the door to my right? Does it have a window or does it not have a window? I'm not going to open a door. I'm not going to attempt a door that I can't see through. So if I see one with a window, I'm going to try to look through it first.
So the one to your right, it doesn't have a window, but it is where you can see there's almost like a forced space, as if something was trying to pull in or push from one end of this door. So there's a small like gap between the door and the wall itself in an area.
Okay. Um, I have dark vision. Is it something that if I, without sticking my face in it, is it something that is it the gap wide enough that if I look through, I can see any source of light or anything coming through?
So if you look through, yeah, you'll be able to see through what's on beyond. Granted, the area around you is dark, but it's not a darkness that is going to trigger your dark vision. You still have a normal sense of vision. It just think of like a dark and stormy, cloudy day, basically.
Got it. All right. So I peek through. What is there something can I peek through to see if I could see anything or hear
Yes.
anything?
So you're looking and you're pressing your face against the wall to try and get to where you can see through the crack on the door. And oddly enough, you can see the cart with Amelia driving it, riding it. But your vantage point where you're seeing this is from a decently high angle, and kind of you're looking at the right side of the cart. So you figure if the cart's here, your view is up here, looking kind of down at an angle towards it.
Okay. I'm not moving, but is this view following her like a camera would if it was like hovering along, or is it like a fixed view and she's passing by me?
It's a fixed view, and you can see that even though it's open or this crack, it'll like flicker every now and then, or you'll see a distortion, and then it'll kind of adjust itself back to seeing the cart just moving along.
Okay. Um. All right. And the door itself there's looks like there's locks or chains on it.
Yeah, it's a large iron door with chains around it that are bolted into this stone fixture.
All right. I want to go for the next door. See what the next door shows me.
Yeah. So the next door, this one has a not so much a window, but it has like one of those little mail slots at the bottom of it, that you can peek through. And this one, when you peek through it, you're seeing the cavern where you were at before, where you first saw the shadowing figures. And from that vantage, it's from that high cliff looking down at the cavern entranceway that you guys were in.
Okay. So, thinking to myself and just kind of meditating to myself, I want to understanding those two things. I feel like these are portals, and maybe what I've been sensing is something's been watching me, has probably been using these portals to spy and maybe move around somehow. So I want to check one more. If there's another door, I want to check one more door to see if my theory is coming to some sort of like, if I see another familiar spot, then I'm like, okay, I also sensed
Mhm.
them. I don't know. So can I check one more door?
Yeah, so you're kind of walking through it, and it's almost it is very reminiscent of like hell from Lucifer. It's almost like this labyrinth of these different areas you can go to with variety of doors. And you're walking for a little bit, and you can see some of the doors. Some have nothing. Some are completely bolted. Some look like as if the rock has even grown over it in an odd way. How the rock grow? I'm not sure, but it's grown over the iron door. But there is one where the chains on the doors is are off. It's open, and you can see the door just kind of like as if there's a breeze.
Okay. So I'm in a hell-like environment. Um, I'd like to uh, ready mother, just draw her out, and I want to approach the other door, and I want to almost, with her at the ready, um, kind of pull the door back or open a little bit, kind of keeping back and just, kind of doing like one of these numbers here to see what I see through that door, if I see anything on the other side of that door.
Okay, so you're opening it with one hand while kind of keeping mother at the ready. So basically, to stab or to slice if you have
Yeah,
to.
pretty much.
Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Roll me a perception check, please.
Perception,
Do
perception,
we sense that he's in here?
perception,
You
check.
you
Yeah.
I perceive 3.
you perceive three. Okay. So you go and open the door, and you notice that compared to the last few doors that you looked through, there's not really a light source coming through. It's almost like a hallway. And it just gets darker as it goes through. Um, how far are you opening it all the way to get a look? Are you opening?
So the light, any of the light source behind me, is in any of that spilling past me
It is.
into?
It's going into this opening, but it's very. It maybe makes it a foot and a half at best. It's very dim.
Okay. Standing with the door between me. So now, again, if I had to do a quick diagram, I'm holding the edge of the door here, using it kind of like a shield. Mother's here, and I'm kind of opening it further. Um, I want to get it to about halfway open to see if I can use my dark vision to see further down the thing.
Okay. So you get it halfway. You're looking through. You can roll me another perception if you like to really focus your eyes down.
Oh, perception.
Get the gun.
Another 3.
Now with that 30.
It
Um,
looked like a 20, but it's not a 20.
so you look through, and you're not really, you don't know if it's the landscape you're in, if it's this whatever type of plane you're in. You know if it's that affecting your vision. You know if it's just stress and whatever else is going on that you can't fully focus. Um, but then you feel from behind you a hand that just and
Pushing
you.
me.
hmm And the moment that your body begins to push through the threshold, you hear hundreds of dissonant whispers before a an easy 12 to 14 different elonged arms with hands just grab and pull you in through the door.
Got it.
And you snap back awake into the cart once more, and you are drenched in a cold sweat. Um, Amon, you have the access right now. You feel you're in your infinite staircase. You feel something is odd. you have the option of continuing staying there, hanging out, whatever you want to do, continue investigating, or to pop out. Because right now you're in. Since you've put yourself there, you now have control to take yourself out at this point. Huh?
So just jump out.
You're gonna jump out.
Yeah.
All right. As you come out of your trance, you feel that there's it's cold around Carib specifically, and you look and he is pale and he is drenched in sweat.
What ghost you say?
I don't know if that was inside of your head or if I was someplace else. But it's terrifying. If that's what you gotta... I saw you talking to him. I was watching you talking to him. The other you, the
Jay, you're too far from the mic, bro.
You ain't saying?
yeah, the other you.
You talking about Billy?
Yeah, if that's what you call him. Yeah, that guy.
Okay, very well. His name's Billy.
Well, I was in something that looked like a dark cavernous thing of rocks and stuff, and I was able to see you right there talking to him through a door. I mean, I couldn't hear you. Did you see me, or did you see a door where you're at?
I didn't even see the door you were talking about.
So there
Me and him were talking at a table.
Yeah, I know. You were at a table. I was looking at you through a door. Were there no doors where you were?
I didn't even know you were there. Seeing anything good?
Well, yeah, I saw a place with a lot of doors, and they were able to spy on us. Like, I was actually able to see Amelia from a different vantage point, and then next thing I know, I'm looking down this one hole that just dragged me in, and someone pushed me in there. And you...
Didn't know you were there.
You know what? If that's what it is to be inside your head, you can keep it.
No one told you to go in.
I didn't expect to go in. It's like you dragged me in there with you. Like everything else, you dragged me in with you.
That's an amazement of privacy, sir. I didn't ask for you to come along with.
Well, you know, maybe it's all the hands you masturbate with. I don't know. Everything grabbed me and pulled me in.
Why only have one hand you masturbate with?
The point is that it was a scary, scary place. And if that's your head,
you shouldn't have tagged along, sir. If you wasn't ready.
You need professional help.
Coming from the guy with mommy and daddy.
I don't have a bunch of holes in my head. And I don't talk to myself either.
Technically, not talking to myself if I'm talking to somebody. And
you're talking to your son, your impregnated son.
Still talking to somebody. So I'm not talking to myself.
Evil baby, evil you, whatever.
It still proved what you just said wrong.
At this point, Amelia chimes in. Ladies, you guys have been meditating what the fuck you've been doing for the last 4 hours. It's someone else's turn. Find a place to park. I'm tired of shit now. And you guys notice that it's now visibly the sun is setting at this point, and you can see where it's getting darker on the horizon.
Well, I told you if you needed something, you could have come.
I was screaming at you. I even used the damn fucking patch we have, and it still didn't go through.
It wasn't a good conversation.
Yeah, and I wasn't stuck inside his head.
No one asked you to come.
So I don't care who it is, but I need someone else to take over. And she's stretching out.
He jumped in front. Yeah.
I'm gonna guide him because he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He just hit ya and didn't even head in the right direction.
So you're gonna go ya?
Yeah, I don't care where the horse is going. I'm gonna go yeah.
Okay. Roll me an animal handling, please.
Cool, I got a +6 on me.
Nice.
Much more than that one.
It didn't even pop up on my screen yet.
That was 25.
Hey.
So you go up, and at the moment you just both the spectral horses completely rear up and just bolt. And I need you to do a strength save, please. It depends.
0.
All right, so the horses take off, and you're like, this is what I'm talking about. You're going there, flying, but you forgot that you're in the marsh. I don't know if it was from you having your conversation, but you forgot where you were. And the moment that these horses are taking off, the wheels begin to skid, thrash, and they eventually knock onto something that causes the cart to flip over. I need everyone to roll me a dex save, please, including Amelia. Oh, nat 20. Thank God she saved that.
23.
23.
What'd you get, Damon?
23.
23? Oh, God, you guys some luck bastards. Alright, so you guys are only going to take half damage from this. That was what? 8, 9, 11. So you guys are only taking 5 damage as the entire cart knocks into some stump that was underneath the mud, and it flips over, and you just mud flies up. The spectral horse is out of existence as this whole transpires, and you guys are laying there in the mud.
What in the hell just happened?
And as you say this, Amelia gets up, and she's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And
He hit a pothole.
she's sitting there, and she's picking up whatever debris she can, and she's just throwing it at you, man. She's pissed. This was her moment to try and fucking rest, and she just frustrated as all can be.
He done?
She moves her hair out of her face and strains out. Just fix this.
Wait a minute. Wait. You gotta...
Don't fucking touch me.
You just cleaned the dirt off your face.
What are both of you guys' passive perceptions?
Passive?
Yeah,
The
passive. The passive perception. What's your passive
11.
perception?
What is that?
It should be on like the front page. It'll literally say
It says
passive.
senses. It's on the left where it says senses underneath your saving throws. Oh boy, look at this. This guy used to not know where the hell you could find anything on D&D.
It used to take him 5 minutes of like, where are my languages?
I'm like,
16.
16? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
So Carib wouldn't notice this too much. He's just trying to adjust himself, and he sees it going on, but it's whatever it is. But Carib, you notice that whenever you attempt to brush the hair from her face, and she says, "Don't touch me," there is a little bit of redness to her cheeks as she says that, and she adjusts herself, and she begins trying to get whatever supply she can from the cart, which the cart is no bueno. There's a few spokes on one wheel broken. Part of the actual axle is snapped and twisted a bit. The cart is done.
So, and I look over at Amon. Do you know how to fix that? What you broke?
Let's see.
And at the same time, I look at Amelia and go, how much of that do you need?
All of it. This is my thing. This is what I do. Need all of it. But she's assessing her own, creation. She knows this thing inside and out, and she's like, this thing is royally fucked.
None of it.
Oh gosh.
And so Amelia starts grabbing what supplies she can from it. She grabs a few rations and some of her shit, but she is pissed.
I grab the majority of her stuff and I'll start carrying it.
How much can we carry?
You should have a weight limit that you can carry. I mean, you would have your normal gear.
I'm also asking her how much do we have in there that we need to carry? Because I mean, we can't carry the cart, so.
So I mean, really, just grab what we're gonna need to finish out. Grab some food. Grab whatever items you guys brought. The rest is gonna have to get left here.
Hey, Amelia.
The cart. The
Just
cart is my everything.
Amelia, when you
That's not
go
what I'm
back
asking you.
when you go back and do the tally, you're gonna put the card on his tab, right?
Oh, for sure.
I'll buy her a new damn car. One that has better wheels.
Yeah. If we ever make money.
Hey, and a room too.
This isn't
I,
something you just
I
buy.
stepped
I
back.
built this cart.
Yeah, I stepped back when he
And
called.
I'm gonna buy you a new one.
All right.
She goes silent. She is ready.
If I get you some, if I
Can
cut down some trees, would you be able to see?
She
I do a
starts.
perception?
She's walking. Yeah, you can do a
Can I do
perception.
another check?
Yeah, go for it.
Would it be nature or perception?
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to see if like we're in this mud, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure that there's nothing, poisonous or dangerous in the air in the environment that we're in.
Okay. Do a survival check for me.
First one was 12. I have advantage on it, so I'm going to do another one just in case. Yep, I'm going to go with 12. Actually, it was 13 because it's +1.
Okay. So with the sun still in its setting position, there's not as much light coming through the canopies and whatnot, but you're looking through. The area you're in seems pretty quiet. I mean, your journey through it so far has you've seen some wildlife, a few gators, a few things here and there, but nothing that's going to actively approach you. Now, as far as the rest of the leg of your journey is uncertain, but your current area, you're pretty okay.
All right.
You feel confident.
So right now, I don't see any immediate dangers, and we don't seem to have any animals or anything to deal with. We can pack up everything that we can take, split the load between the three of us. Amon, you're a
I
big
already
boy.
started walking.
Oh yeah, because Amelia had already started walking off in
I
frustration.
grabbed as much shit as I could carry and I started walking in.
So I assessed everything, and as I'm talking, and so Amon and they're already
So the
walking.
whole time you're talking, we already started walking.
You hear just Amelia as she's trying to like angrily walk through the mud, but it's not really happening, so it's just a silly scene.
um, it would be rude to offer to carry her. Is there anything that I can fashion as far as like anything else I need to grab? We got everything.
I mean, she grabbed some food for rations that would fit in her pack, and then her normal pack and gear. You're able to grab your normal pack and gear, and if you want to grab some additional rations, I mean, other than that, there wasn't really much else in the cart aside from whatever it was built into it.
Right. Got it. All right. Cool.
Just
I
waiting to
start.
that car for 2 seconds.
I start trudging along. No, gosh. I start trudging along behind him.
What you say?
So this leg of the journey
Right.
is a lot slower. Without the cart, your movement is very hindered walking through the mud. At some parts, it's at your ankles. At other parts, it's almost up to your knee that you're wading through.
Oh,
Um,
great.
about an hour goes by, and Amelia does find where it evens out, and there are some rocks and fallen trees that are flat enough and fallen over enough to where you guys can climb up top and make like a makeshift camp before it gets too dark.
All right. Start up the fire. Let's fight. Let's get ready to fight the mosquitoes.
You
And
watch.
And quick.
So what are you trying to do?
Oh, I just wanted to say that in front of everybody.
Oh, she's looking. She's still visibly. She's had time to just process like whatever. We find, but she's still upset, and you watch as she begins just tutting out different symbols and muttering, and before this little bubble just around her, a little 5-foot radius bubble just right around her, and it looks dimly lit from the inside, and it matches the coloring of the stone and the fallen trees that's around her right now.
So I'm gonna take it like you want to be left alone.
And you just see from the top of the bubble, her hand just.
I couldn't tell what.
Had you not wrecked the.
No, thank you. So, as she
you-
does that, What? Describe the area around us.
Right now, you're surrounded by mud, muddy water, some swamp life and things like that. But where you guys are currently posted is on a flat, kind of flat-ish, large stone that's kind of jutting out the mud with some fallen trees around it.
So I'm gonna go 5 feet. Now I'm gonna go 10 feet past where we are, just to see what is up there.
Okay, so
Kind of get the lay of the land.
you're gonna
Yeah.
wad through the mud a bit.
Yeah. Sure. Why not?
Okay, and Damien, what were you gonna do?
I was gonna start setting up, a fire for us since apparently I don't have an Amelia bubble. So I was gonna start setting up some camp.
Okay. So you begin doing that process, and you watch as Amon begins kind of trotting off, and you're going in the direction that you guys were headed, right? You're
Yeah.
kind of pushing to scout a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give you a choice: survival or perception.
Let's see. +6 on survival, +6 on perception.
So dealer's choice. Roll the dice.
Let's go surviving. Please.
What?
Hey, please.
Well,
12. Oh, Jesus Christ! I don't know. 12. Okay. So you begin kind of making your way through, and you keep an eye out to see what is kind of going to be your next, what you can see for your adventure for the next day. But you're also, as you're looking through, you can see part of the mud is just every now and then you'll just see like little bubble just. So, Carib, during this time you have been able to set up camp. You don't have a large fire just because most of the brand most of the fire is pretty moist. But you're able to get a small little little fire to keep your hands warm and stuff like that, and cook some meat as well. But yeah, so what are you setting up, like a little tent? Did you bring a tent with you, or are you setting up just like a nice bag around the fire?
I have a bedroll, so I mean, I have like an actual bed that I can throw down, and I have some hempen. So I have a little oil to help with the fire and stuff like that. So I'm just basically making taking the hempen, I'm taking the wolf, which we had dried out over the time, so basically have like a couple of wolf blankets. And I'm just kind of making like a little bit of a lean-to, so it's like a wet branch, hanging it over, blanket underneath, fire right there. If Amon comes back, he could probably throw a blanket over on the other side, and we could have like basically two side-by-sides. We could see Amelia from where we are, you know what I mean? So we would technically be like a triangle if we wanted to be, and then Amelia would be somewhere in the immediate vicinity. But the fire would be where I don't think the fire is big enough to really cast a lot of heat through that bubble. So hopefully she has her own heater. But if you're on either side of it, you'll be pretty, you'll stay pretty warm.
Can you roll me a Constitution saving throw, please?
Constitution save and throw. Damn.
What'd you get, bud?
I had 0. I had a natural 1 with a -1 in Constitution. So
Oh no! Okay.
it's how low can you go?
Been there a couple turns ago.
So your shoulder, the one that was bit into by the wolf, since it's happened, you've dressed it and treated it, with whatever provisions you've had. Amelia went in and cast, cure wounds and stuff on there, little healing as you guys went on, but it's still been sore and stiff over the last few days, and it just feels right now it just really doesn't feel good.
Can I? Is it wrapped?
You tell me.
Oh, I would assume so. If it's unless the wound is completely okay. So with the heal wounds and the amount of days that we traveled, would the bite marks be sealed and with that fresh pink tissue, or is it still something that I have to like tend and wrap? Because
So the
you know,
I would
quickly.
say the first 2 days, it was something you had to keep having to like tend and wrap up. Um, and then once Amelia went in and cast spell, it's moved over into that pink tissue, so you haven't had to keep up with the dressing as much. It's just been more of there. Um, but
This
if,
is an internal soreness.
huh?
So this is more of an internal soreness, not an
It's
external. Like,
correct. It's more internal, but you can. It feels weird. If you go to look at it, there's you kind of pull back whatever dressing and take off your shirt and whatever armor you're wearing. Where the bite mark had healed, instead of it being a pinkish, almost your normal skin color now, over the few days it should have healed, there's almost like a blackish greenish hue to it, and you can see where there are different parts where it's trailing off and almost spreading, and it looks like it's reverting even worse than how it was when it was healed.
all right. I look at that. I immediately go, "That's not good."
You do,
Um,
and
and
your eyes begin to feel heavy as you see that as well.
uh, can I tap my shoulder quickly and talk to Amelia? Because could
Yeah,
Amelia hear me through that bubble?
find out. You've never seen
Yeah.
that bubble.
Yeah. So I'm gonna tap my shoulder and communicate with Amelia.
Mm-hmm.
Amelia, um, my shoulder, it looks bad.
And
It's
you're out. You
damn it.
right then and there. So you're not sure if she got the message, but you have sent out Amelia, my shoulder,
Did I get
and
in? My shoulder looks bad.
yeah,
You said and you're out after
we'll
that.
say my shoulder looks bad. I'll say my shoulder looks bad.
Okay.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. All right,
All right.
My goodness.
I
Yeah.
give you that. I give you that.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Because I got that in before the and you're out. I'm like, okay, come on now. Because that message went to everybody in the guild, right?
I mean, well, you said no. You said specifically Amelia.
Amelia. Okay, fine. It went
Yeah.
to
So if
Amelia.
you aimed it at Amelia, it went. We don't
That's
know if
fine.
she got it. But yeah, we'll jump back to Crib. So you saw that movement, and then you were trying to figure something out.
I'm gonna use my character again to make the area where I see him move
Mm-hmm.
vibrate a little bit. See the motherfucker pop its head up for a little bit, or possibly show itself. I'm a little entity. A little entity.
Okay. So you go and cast Thaumaturgy, and you watch as the mud layer that's a little few, I'll say about like 20 or so feet out from you, begins to just, and from that you just see the mud just, and you see, but you can't quite gauge what's happening. You see mud flying, and it looks like something from the right is hitting, or something from the left is hitting. Then it looks like something is popping up at other points, and then it just kind of.
I'm gonna sit there patiently to see if I see it move again.
Every few seconds, though, you see that little of the bubble. You might see a little.
Oh. That's what I'm looking for is the actual movement, not the bubbles.
Yeah, they normally go.
So,
It's not like a big move, but every now you'll see the bubble, and then you just see like a little.
so the next time I see the movement, I'm gonna shoot him now.
Okay. So you watch as this movement comes up. Roll your attack.
Caroline, 26.
20.
Natural 20 with a 6.
Okay. Roll whatever damage you're gonna roll.
Sweet Caroline. 13.
Okay.
So it's a double because it was a crit.
It would be the max damage plus whatever you rolled.
No, my damage is 1d6 plus 3. That's where you got the 13.
Okay,
And if
so
I hit it twice,
so you got one arrow off. So
the extra one went because I crit. Yeah, I did.
So you would have got 9 out the gate if it's a 1d6
Okay.
plus 3, and then you would just roll the d6 to add on whatever it is.
So, d6. Okay. 4.
Yeah, still 13. Here we go.
For 13.
So you watch the arrow just, and you see the thing kind of, the mud move. You don't see anything surface, but you see the mud move just like this, and the trees that are within the vicinity, you can hear them almost begin to like creaking, like how they would sound with strong winds creaking. But there's no wind currently coming through. It's just from different points of the marshy area as the movement kind of, and you just see your arrow just kind of get pulled in.
So I'm just gonna chill and see if it moves again and shoot again.
Roll me a stealth check, please.
You really want me to do stealth check? You really want me to do stealth
I mean,
check?
it's not that I want you. You put yourself in this situation.
Oh,
It's that I need you to. Oh, 6. Okay.
stealth's not good for me.
Well, when you were standing there on the ledge just shooting at things, I don't know how stealthy you were going to be.
I was just about to say, I'm kind of just standing there watching it, and shooting at it. I don't think I'm being real stealthy.
No.
I'm pretty sure if it's Amon, he's probably even whistling a tune to it.
So you're sitting there and you're watching. You're kind of keeping your eyes out on the general area where you already shot. You're watching some of the surroundings.
It's gonna come from behind me.
Can you do a strength saving throw, please?
Son of a bitch.
Strength is not his strength.
11.
Yeah.
You feel something wrap around your ankle as it pulls you down into the mud, and you land on your back as mud kind of like, it's not, you're like ankle, you're a little bit above ankle deep where you are at. Where it was much deeper, but you get slammed onto your back and you can feel it begin to trying to pull you. And from here, I will say roll initiative.
Uh, 19.
Oh, you're definitely going first. It rolled a 5 minus 1, so.
Yay! So I see the thing wrapped around my leg, correct?
When you felt it grab your ankle,
But if it yanked me and pulled me down, I can see that it had me on my ankle.
oh yeah, you can see it's grabbed. I'm just saying, you haven't seen the thing, but yeah, you know it's a wrapped around your ankle.
Said, can I see the thing that wrapped around my leg?
Yeah, in betwixt the mud and stuff, yeah. I'm just saying, give you the narrative.
It's a good use of betwixt.
I need you to get your head out your ass.
You're the one that always starts shit by yourself.
That is true.
It was it for me, and
I said, look, there's movement. You could have been, you know what? Not today.
Nah. But when have you seen me do this?
A lot of times.
Okay. Jesus said, I'm gonna use Hellish Rebuke.
Hellish Rebuke is a reaction to what? Give me the spell?
Yeah.
No. You can point your finger and the creature that damaged you, because I'm figuring I took damage from the slam.
No,
It
just tricked you.
I'm not using Hellish Rebuke then. I'm going to use my dagger to cut stay off my leg.
Okay, so you're going to try and cut it?
Yeah, I
Okay.
cut it off my leg.
Go for it. Roll your attack.
13.
13 does hit. Yeah. So how much damage is that? So you sink your dagger into this whatever is wrapped around your leg right now.
You get off me, you evil bastard!
And as you sink in and you're wedging and trying to, like, a little hacking motion almost, you get a sense that what has you or has your ankle right now is not it's not a hand. It is not a hand.
What am I tentacle?
It's something. You got anything else you want to try? Your turn before it goes. You said that's it?
said you.
Okay. I'm sorry. I can't hear you breaking up. All right. So it is going to make a strength save, please.
Yeah, but that's your hand.
This one will be at disadvantage though, because you're not prone right now.
Use your strong hand.
Well, that's a 0, but let's go for shits and giggles.
Wait.
It was a 16.
How do you guys keep getting zeros? This is.
Strength.
I've never had so many zeros pop up in the session. This is great. So you are pulled 15 feet into the deeper mud. So where the mud was previously just barely above your ankles, it's if you were to be standing, it'd be at your knees right now. So laying down, it is you have to keep yourself up, otherwise you're gonna be mud everywhere.
Face deep into mud.
Correct. That is going to be the extent of its turn.
Hey Billy, you don't want to die, right? Yeah.
I'm not really a fan of dying. You know what, friend? As a favor. he's gonna say, grab it. Whatever it is, just grab it real quick.
I grabbed it.
Yeah. So he's telling you just to like.
It.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I'm grabbing it.
So as you grab it, you feel Billie Jean's energy in your hands, and you have that partial transformation where they turn to those claws, and with little flicks of flame coming off them, and it digs in. Roll me an attack with advantage, please. Just D20.
Yeah, I'm gonna do D20. So one of them was a 6, and one of them was a. One was a 6 and one was a 7.
So even with Billie Jean's, power, he's strong as shit. Even then, you go to dig the claws in, and it's just slipping around whatever it is that's grabbing your ankle. So it is not catching or being able to pierce.
Too much food.
So,
You heard that, but you can't hear me say your turn.
yeah. Anything else you want to try on your turns? That'll be your action to do that attempted attack. But what else do you want to try?
I can't stand up because that's another action.
No, standing up would use your movement.
I'm gonna try to stand the fuck up.
Okay. Just do me a general strength. Just straight roll of strength. 10? 15. Gotcha. Okay. So you go ahead and release the grass that you had, and you start scrabbling and clawing at the mud, and you're able to go and get yourself up. You feel it attempt to try and tug at you, but you're able to at least hold on. And you find like this skinniest little dead tree next to you that you're grabbing to try and stay up there. But you are up now. You're no longer prone.
Yeah.
Has taken any damage?
Has it?
No, has he?
Has he? No, he hasn't taken any damage.
Not yet. It's your turn.
Oh, I was waiting. I don't know if you want to use bonus, but fine. All right. It
I can't use
is.
my bonus actions to disengage. It has to be. I can't physically try to get away because it has me.
Can I ask a question?
You can attempt to break the grapple. That would be an action.
I use my action already.
Right. I'm saying for your action. There's things you can try.
What about your cantrip?
It's gonna vibrate his booty hole. He's my like I said.
What if it vibrated? What if it vibrated someplace else?
What's going on with what's gonna go on there?
I was just saying, why don't you vibrate someplace else?
All right. This time.
My balls. And what kind of good is that?
What's your armor class, Jay?
I'm up 14.
14. Okay. So you watch as you're trying to keep yourself up by using this dead branch that's nearby. You catch from the corner of your eye movement in the mud as something flies out, and it looks like another tentacle, whatever it is, long and slender, that kind of attempts to whip out, and you're able to just move out the way in time as it just across from your face. and it misses whatever attempted attack it had tried. That'll be its turn.
I figured you liked minis. I don't. I'm gonna try to cut the shit again. See what happens.
You're gonna try the what?
I'm gonna try to cut the fucking tentacle off, or cut the tentacle off of it.
Okay, with the use of the claws or the dagger?
Let's go with claws.
Claws? Okay.
That's just a straight D20, right?
Right.
Shoot for the fences! I got him now.
And that one? So you go and you attempt to claw it as best you can there and try and find purchase, but again, it's slippery. That mud coating is it's on there. It lives in this marsh, and as you go to you're pissed off. You go to swing at it. You hit. It bounces, and you end up smacking part of that dead stick, and it goes. So it's still holding on, but it's like another hit or a good pull, and it may not be holding you up as well anymore.
So I'm gonna use my vibrator. Come on.
What are you vibrating?
It's tentacle. See if the sudden vibration
Okay.
starts some bullshittery.
Okay, so just to clear, are you centering it on the tentacle? Okay.
Tentacle.
That you're connected to.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey.
So you go ahead and cast Thaumaturgy, and you're like, take this, motherfucker. And it starts to vibrate, and you're like, yeah, it doesn't do damage, but I know you feel it. And then the stick goes. And
You ever see a train wreck in slow motion? And I'm sitting there going, why would you do that?
that's why I cleared. I was like, where are you casting Thaumaturgy? So the stick breaks.
You know how hard it is? I think Carib is knocked out over there going, what the fuck?
Make a quick. Oh yeah, you're having like this weird. You're unconscious, but your body's getting like the weirdest massage at like random times. Make a dex save, please.
Pager turned all the way up. My phone
Yeah, dex save.
It was a 3 plus 3.
So you, as the twig snaps and you're like shit, you're trying to grab another one, and it's not fast enough, and you are flattened on your back in the mud again.
This would be so hilarious if I was watching this, but I'm not. So I can only enjoy it out of game.
Alright, is that what your turn? Is that what you wanted to try? So you've used an action and a bonus.
Can I get another 3 questions before we die?
How many favors you gonna get today?
Listen, I didn't ask for a favor. I just said, can I get another 3 questions before I die?
You had 3 favors. That's the 4th favor. We can do questions, but this is not the time nor the place.
I'm not asking you for a favor. All I said was, can I get a couple questions before I die?
That would be a favor to a friend. Any hoozles, I think you're fine. It looks like you'll be alright.
I will be, but the fuckery behind everything. Just want to cover the questions.
Alright.
Making little things a little bit more interesting. Because I'm not paying attention to half paying attention and fighting this thing while I'm bullshitting with you. See the irony? I think I will win quicker if I paid attention. But where's the fun in that?
So is that your turn?
Yeah.
Alright. So it is going to go. It is going to do another attack at you. But this time, since you're prone, it still fucking misses.
Guess I get advantage?
It gets advantage because you're prone, because it's trying to do a melee attack. However, it is now working out. The highest it rolled was a 7. That was with its mods on it. So you're like, fuck, you slam back and the mud gets in your eyes. And when you go like this and you see this tentacle out of nowhere and you're like, shit, and you move and it just sprays up more mud into the air as this other tentacle thing slithers back into the mud there again. That'll wrap up its turn.
I feel
And
like I've seen this movie before.
At the end of its turn, you see all of a sudden this from behind you. There's like this bright flash of like bluish light, and you just watch as a turret of you know this pretty well. Icicles are just along the right in front of you where the tentacle would be, and also out into the mud. Just a whole line of just icicles falling down.
We didn't hear that complaint.
You went, who shut up?
That's because mud went in his mouth. Who shut?
I don't know why. He's like, it's funny to say.
It's the only thing I like about this monster. I think that it just shoved mud down his mouth and it
Who in the hell is trying to take my kill now?
Take your kill.
And you watch as where these icicles are smacking into it. Some of the mud is freezing, and a few of them get near you. They don't hit you, but you can feel the cold coming off them as well. But some of the mud is now freezing up. Whatever it is.
Be careful with my gentle area.
And you hear as just some muddy steps come up from behind you, and as they stop, they kick mud into your face.
Why would you do?
That'll be your turn.
First, I look to see who kicked mud in my face.
It is Amelia, and this is Amelia that you haven't seen before. It's Amelia, in the normal gear you're used to seeing her wearing, but it's around her gear. There's almost like this additional icy armor that's kind of in different parts and bits of it, and there's like this frost that's kind of coming off of her a bit.
You look kind of good, but can you shoot this thing so it can get off my foot, please?
What do you think I just did?
It's not off my foot.
No, but it's damn better start than you did.
We're not here to play who killed the monster better. This is not what we're doing.
Hard before I kill you myself. Let's go.
Man, can I sense where the fucking base of this monster is yet?
Can you what?
Can I sense where the body of this monster is?
Yeah, deep in the mud, the deep mud that you haven't been in yet.
Now, this mud, would I be able to swim around it?
Sure.
It was
Say that again.
Would I use all my movement just to stand up?
You'd use half movement to stand up.
And how far would you think is the deeper mud?
Well, with mud, your movement is normally halved anyways because it's considered difficult terrain. So the deeper you get in, the less movement you're actually gonna have.
I just want to dive.
So you can stand up and then you can attempt to jump.
Is this thing still wrapped around his ankle?
Yes. I'll just tap it and see if it just pulls me.
You want to spend an action to tap it?
Nah, it's okay.
I love how Damian's like, there's so much shit I could be doing if I wasn't unconscious.
In my head, what I want to do is I want to go into the mud and swim around and just fucking stab the base of it.
Go for it. You're already on the ground. So, I mean, if you want to try and swim into the mud.
That's so much work. That's just too much work. That's a fucking technical off of me.
Okay. Claw or dagger?
Dagger, because claw ain't doing shit.
roll your dagger attack.
I literally pulled back on a 19 for a hot second and said, no.
Not today. So you're... So after you exchange with the melee, you're like, fuck it. You sit up, you grab your dagger, and you just go to plunge it. And as you're plunging it down, it just goes, bounces off. Whether it's thick, whether it's slippery, you don't even know at this point. You're pretty sure that this thing is completely immune to any of your attacks. You're not sure. You're using all of your strength. You don't know why it's not going through. It's a mystery. This thing must be magic.
And I just flick it.
You flick it. There's a thick, resounding thud.
Get mud.
It's like it gives actually. Give me a nature check when you flick it. Why not? I'll throw you a lifeline.
Watch him get another 7.
18 plus 2, 19.
19.
Okay.
Nice. So you flick it, and you're expecting some type of maybe fleshy resistance, but it's more vine, more natural, more earthy than it is fleshy.
So I'm gonna use my. Did she come with any kind of flame or anything?
Does who come with flame?
Amelia. Did she come with any
She
kind of
came.
light?
She came with the ice, so her ice itself was glowing, and then the the semi shimmery ice armor stuff you see around her,
And there's ice on the thing that's grabbing him right now, right?
and in random spots of mud that is like slowly freezing over.
No, that's not good.
You can do it.
That's better.
I can't help you.
I don't need you to.
So that'll
I could rub it in your face if I did.
so that'll be up to the creature now. It is going to attempt to. Can you do a saving throw with disadvantage for me, please?
Yeah.
Strength.
Ready? Are we trying to get another 0? Are we trying to do this?
This is what it is to do it.
Another fucking 0. First one.
Holy crap.
It
Wow.
pulls you, so you feel the whatever's wrapped around your ankle tighten even more, and you are yanked 15 feet more into the mud. Now you are submerged underneath a thick layer of mud. So from here on, the next subsequent turns that you have, if you don't stand up or you spend an action to keep yourself up, you will have to begin holding your breath. What is your constitution modifier?
Oh, what?
Your constitution modifier, your con mod.
It's a plus.
So you have 1 minute that you can hold your breath. If it
We're
comes
going
down.
with the pluses, right? The plus.
Yeah, the plus part.
I was about to say the little purple bit underneath is an 11.
Does you no good.
Clearly.
Alright, so that'll be the monster's turn. And it'll go into Amelia's turn. So that kind of buggered Amelia's plan. So you kind of being coated in all the mud and underneath, you are like, what the fuck is happening? And you feel a hand come down and grab you by your collar and yank you up enough to where your head is up and you can get a little bit of breath. And you watch as Amelia's hand begins to glow as there is just an ice swirl forming around it. And she raises it up high and shoots his beam up into the about 15 feet above where the thickest pit of mud is, where you saw the original movement. And around it begins swirling a flurry of snow and ice as it just descends down on top of the mud and begins to freeze the top coat of it. And you can barely see it as it's spreading over. And some parts that were sticking out of the mud from whatever this creature is begin to freeze and break here and there. But she has basically frozen the top layer of mud of the thickest part of the mud, where you expect the main body is at.
Would the part that's connected to him have also gotten frozen?
No, he's too far out from it still for that part, but over there it's still. It's about there's like a 20, 25 foot difference before he gets to that deep mud.
Got it.
Where have you been hiding that?
And you're still as useless as ever. I'm having to save your ass once again. I woke up because Carib was fucking, I don't know. Just figure out what the hell you're going to do. And it's going to pass on to your turn. She's holding you up by your collar now, so you're kind of like above the mud. As
So I'm gonna use my movement to stand up,
okay.
and I'm tired of playing with all this. Can I get a little bit more power there? So I can you let me use a little bit. It can do shit.
Hmm. Hmm.
And this time we can say it was a favor.
I do love doing favors, my friends. Wow.
Yeah, favor is my.
I'll give a little extra help. And you feel a deep warmth from within your chest, that of like a small flame. Your horns grow a little bit longer, a little bit more jagged. You get your more profound fangs. Your claws go from just the semi-morph claws. You get the full flame-tipped claws that are kind of popping out there, and you're stronger now. So try whatever you want to try.
Keep this look permanently. How are you?
Nah.
No, you're a buzzkill. You know that.
Well, I'm just telling you, the more you keep that form, the easier it is for me just to be out all the time. You can be in the head.
Listen, I never told you couldn't come out. Just sometimes. Way out.
The deal was without permission, you can come out.
But if you never ask, you can't never get permission.
Then I wouldn't get favors.
I'm starting to think you're a fucking jackal with all your goddamn deals, you dickhead. This time I'm gonna I'm trying to pull it out of the mud.
So you're gonna try and grab the tentacle and pull it?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a strength with advantage, because now you are partially, transformed. While that's happening, Carib, you are you're in that black space, the space that you were falling in before you fell into that labyrinth of stone and doors. And you hear a familiar voice. It's not Amon, it's not Carib, it is a male voice. It's one you haven't heard in a while. A really long time. And
it seems you've gotten yourself into quite a predicament this time, huh?
Oh Lord. Yes, yes. You didn't answer my prayer last time, so I thought you had abandoned me.
well, we need to have a relationship before we can really abandon, can't we?
I suppose.
Well, it seems like there's I've still been keeping tabs. We've gotten into some very interesting things, actually. But I'm more concerned about right now, you see, yeah, it seems like you have something that I don't really like. So I'm gonna help you out on this one. Okay. And you feel your shoulder begins to glow. In this dark space, you are now the only light source, and your shoulder burns. And you watch as this black and green kind of liquid is in front of you almost before as it burns away.
Does that look familiar to the same thing that went inside of Amon?
No. This is different. This is more just like a liquidy substance that came out. It's not a permafix, but maybe now you can show me some more fun. All right, toodaloo.
And he's out. And I think to myself, I'm not entirely sure if that's the best way to start a relationship. I'm not a relationship expert.
Wonderful world.
I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if that's. I'm not a relationship expert, but I don't think that's how you start one. But okay, all right, that works.
So you begin waking up. You are groggy. And you can see through like fogged and teared eyes. You see some icy armor looking entity. Again, you can't. It's very. You're like just coming over. So you just see something there, and you see something thrashing within the mud. So
we're not near the campground though.
You're about 50. I guess now you'd be about 40, 50 feet away from the campground, so you can still see out that far. Because you only went out, 10, 15 feet originally before you started shooting shit.
And you got dragged.
Yeah, dragged 30 feet so far.
Mr. Wonderful World.
Hey, I'm just telling you, just reminding you out of
So I will have you roll initiative
Carib
now, but you'll be added into the next turn order.
Set this one out. We can.
And that's perfect. Okay, cool. So then from there, so Amon you had rolled a 9, correct, for your strength. Okay. So you feeling bolstered, you're feeling good. You got energy flowing, and you grab this vine thing that's wrapped around you, and you get into that power stance, like you're ready to do full on tug war. You just it doesn't budge. In fact, from you pulling, your feet actually just kind of like sink in a little bit lower from the force you were trying to avert onto it.
Alright, so this is something big. So I'm guessing pulling it was my action. So
Yeah.
I pulled up the goddamn tentacle and I said, "Hey, can you do this thing? Can you get it out for me?"
I can sure as hell try. And you watch as she goes ahead, and you're watching her as you're holding up the thing like this, ready for it, and she doesn't grab any weapon, but she begins to just move her hand in this motion towards the vine. You're like, great, this bitch is gonna karate chop it. And right before it makes contact, you watch as there's this jagged ice blade that just forms around her arm as she just... Hold up. I wasn't expecting it to be that rough. As she slams it into and begins dissecting it, and she gets a good, maybe it's about yay thick. She gets about halfway through with cutting it before she has to pull out, and this blade of ice that had materialized around her arm just and breaks away as she finishes her motion. Just there, I've helped out.
No, for somebody that likes me, you shouldn't be such a bitch. But I do like it.
She gives you a glare, and then she focuses back on whatever area this thing is coming from. With that, it's going to be your... Nope, I'm sorry, it's not your turn. It is going to be... yeah. So creature now is going to attempt...
I'm calling this one thing.
Something. It's going to attempt to smack
Amelia. I was calling
Amelia.
it Audrey too.
So you watch as you're having this conversation with Amelia, and she begins to refocus back, seizing up on this moment of now being injured by this new entity. You watch as another vine tentacle, instead of this time whipping out, just straight shoots out from the mud straight to Amelia, and you watch as it pierces through into her abdomen. And from your angle, it looks like it has gone clear through her. But as it stops and sinks in, you watch as the iced armor that's around Amelia kind of dissipates and cracks a bit. Not fully gone, but it just a little bit. And there, on this vine, ice begins to form on it, and the part that had gone ahead and smacked into her crumbles off, as the rest of it is now left with a frostbitten tip as it tries to pull it back into the mud again. And that'll be the creature's turn, so that'll bring us back to the top of the order, and Carib, you're at the top of the order now with your 20.
How foggy am I?
For this combat, you are going to be at disadvantage for almost everything.
All right. How far am I?
You're about 50 feet out from them.
Okay. Do I have enough strength to stand and walk towards them?
Yeah, you can walk towards them. I would say your movement, even without being into the mud, is going to be halved. So once you go into the mud, it'll be halved even further.
How close can I get on solid ground?
What's your total movement right now?
Total movement's 30 feet.
So
So
you
I can
can,
walk to 15.
yeah, you can walk that 15, and then you can basically push through. I'd say you can walk a full 20 because it's more so like a slopey off the rock. You can kind of hop your way.
All right. And 20, I'm not in the mud. I'm just like maybe barely ankle deep or whatever.
Yeah, it's like it's touching your boots. It hasn't even got to your ankles yet.
Cool. So I'll walk the 20. Can I get clear line of sight on that tentacle? So Amon's up. So Amelia's here. Amon's up. Is he still holding that tentacle?
Yeah, he's
By
still
pulling
holding
it
that
through?
tentacle. Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm gonna try to fire at it with my. I don't. I'm like, I don't even say to my. Okay, Amelia looks like she's armored. Amon looks like he's in trouble like usual. I draw my crossbow.
Well, what's great right now is you aren't able to clearly identify that that's Amelia. You just
Okay.
see this shimmering
I
thing
see
next to.
ice.
Mm-hmm.
I see ice thing. I see Amon, and I see Amon holding something, and he doesn't look happy. I'm like, I'm gonna aim for the rope. I think it's a rope.
I'm gonna get you.
All right, roll at disadvantage.
I'm gonna get you.
This is great. I love it. Full on consequences.
So
You just stand at the game. Just on up there.
you're lucky I'm using a crossbow, and I'm not pulling out mother and be like, mother slash.
No one's asking you for anything.
Well, the first one was 17,
It's you.
So Jay, the first roll was good.
and the second roll was 22.
Oh, so 17. So it does. Even groggy and still really just kind of feeling everything in his shoulder still, he manages to launch through a crossbow bolt that sinks into the part where Amelia had previously cut, and this thing is damn near torn. Oh, I'm sorry. Roll for damage. Let's see how much torn this gets open. If you don't just clear it completely.
Well, my damage is 1d6 plus 1, so 3.
Okay. So Amon, you watch as it rips down half, and it's just barely hanging on that last little bit. Just a good tug is all it needs to go. But
I
yeah.
get extra attack.
Oh. Okay.
I get extra attack. Being that it hit, I'm kind of like, did I hit it? I'm shooting again.
Oh, Jesus.
Stand still.
No one has moved. So
You
you
look like
see
you're moving.
movement. You
You
sit
look like
your ass down.
you look like you're moving to me. I'm just going ahead and shooting again.
Roll me those 2 attacks.
That first one was a 12,
Okay.
and that second one was an 8.
Okay.
So with disadvantage, my second attack is an 8, so it misses.
Jay, can you do a dex save, please? Because you're holding up this tentacle where he's trying to hit.
17.
Okay. So you're like, okay, he got that first one. Maybe we got this. And you watch and you see where right before he looses the next bolt, he's like, maybe this way. And you're like, that's not good. And you duck out the way as this bolt just over your head.
Did I get it?
I seen it coming. Can I push the thing closer to it? Was about to hit me. Can I just use it as a shield?
Roll me a straight D20.
Mama, don't fail me down. It didn't do shit. It was.
So in that split moment, you contemplate, should I try and catch it with this, or you're like, fuck it, I don't want to die, and it sails over your head.
Yeah. Did I get it? Are we good?
You almost got me. Sit your ass down.
I don't feel so good. I'm just gonna sit here. I'm just gonna lean against. Is there a tree or anything I can lean against?
There's like a fallen tree next, where the campsite was. There's a few fallen trees.
Just gonna be right here.
I'm gonna leave right here. I'm looking at the tentacle. If you want to eat something, that's the one you want to eat. Jesus.
Is that everything you're gonna do, Carib?
Bonus action.
Wait for Lord. Sit your ass down.
Yeah, for now, I think I'm good.
All right. From that, we'll move on to Amon. You're up.
I'm gonna try to fucking finish this tentacle off and rip it off.
Oh, so you just want to try and straight rip it?
Straight rip it.
Okay. Just roll me strength. Yeah, I'll say this one with advantage though.
It's just -1 again. So first one is an 11.
Mm-hmm.
The other one's a 3.
So we're gonna go with the 11.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it to. Oh, even at disadvantage, it got a 1 uncontested. So you begin to rip at it, and you feel there's like a resistance of it trying to hold itself together, and you just dig in those claws that were gracefully bestowed upon you by Billie Jean, as you just gracefully, just finally manage to sever this entity that's been holding onto your ankle and dragging you through the mud like a damn rag doll, and you are now free of it. You're still in some deep mud. But you are free of its grasp.
Damn it, finally. Damn it. I'm gonna walk up to where Lily is. Shield her. Think we need to take care of this thing now before tomorrow we try to get through here.
Okay, so is that going to be your full turn?
Yeah, that's gonna be my full turn.
All right. It's like I was already ahead of you before you decided to go for a nice little swim in the mud, and you watch as she goes ahead and as the iced armor that's on her begins to crack and splinter, and it rolls down her arms on both sides, meeting at the front of her hands, and she goes and puts them together. She is muttering and doing all kinds of symbols, and you can feel just generally around her getting cold. You being next to her, even with Billie Jean's flame affinity that you've seen him have, even you are still currently cold. And she raises up both arms, and her eyes glow a bright, brilliant blue as she creates this giant, basically giant fucking iceberg almost that just comes crashing down into the mud. And when it hits into the mud, it explodes and begins just freezing everything within the vicinity.
Someone just turned on the temperature?
So I just saved our asses, and you watch as she's wobbly, and she just backwards into the mud.
Is that Amelia?
But I noticed her wobbly.
Okay. You know, you have your Billie Jean reflexes, and as you catch her, it's Billie Jean no longer sensing any threats. So the moment that you're in that whole transition of catching her and she's in your arms, your transformation dissipates almost like it's steamed off, and you are back into your normal form.
You're a real nigga asshole, you know that.
But did you die?
The creature's still alive.
Looks like she took care of it.
I'm gonna notch another arrow.
Oh my god.
Is that Amelia with you? Who's that?
If you can't tell, sit your ass down.
I really am thinking about just taking a fire anyways. Like, this is my chance. No.
We want. Oh.
I put my crossbow back down. I just got kind of like trying to work my way back to the camping area to see if my fire still works.
I mean, it's the entire area is frozen over. You don't know if it froze all the way through the mud, but it's no longer. There's no movement. There's no cracks of the ice.
Amon, I don't know what happened, but I'm pretty sure it's your fault. What's wrong with Amelia?
Take your wobbly ass back to the camp. We can talk
I don't feel so good, man. Look,
I'm
I'm
not
gonna just
carrying you. Wobble back to the can.
start wobbling back. By the way, is I do have a potion. My hit points are fine. I don't think this is an affection. This isn't. Can I tell because of the way that it was healed by the deity? Can I tell that this is Arcana that's affecting me as opposed to or magic that's affecting me as opposed to an actual like physical ailment?
Okay, so you're wanting to differentiate if it's something natural or magical.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll let you choose. You can either roll for Arcana to see if it has any Arcanic properties, or you can roll for uh, nature. We'll do nature.
I'm gonna do Arcana because I feel like Amelia and I have been tending to this pretty good, and I shouldn't be feeling infected at all. So that would be a 23 on my first roll, and if I get any higher, ooh, and a natural 20, so a 25. So tell me what
Nice.
the fuck this thing is.
So you know without a doubt, there was nothing magical that was afflicting the wound. There was some other possibly natural activity that was occurring, whether it was specific to your body, specific to the wolf. You that part you don't know, but there was nothing magical about what was causing that pain and causing that infection-looking situation.
Is Amelia passed out?
Oh yeah, she's unconscious. You can see that whatever she did has, even through your blurred vision, whatever she did has exhausted herself, to the point where she even has just like little trickle of blood from her nose.
All right, so the potion of greater healing, red liquid glimmers and agitated. It just does hit points. It doesn't. It's not. Does it take care of poison or anything of that nature?
Mm-mm. It would just be for your health. It would not take care of any other afflictions.
Shit.
So I'm just taking her back. I took her back to camp and I'm just putting her in that little area. She had a bubble.
Okay.
Making sure.
You're gonna put her in the bubble?
Yeah. But
Okay.
first, before I put her in the bubble, I'm gonna clean her up to make sure she's good.
Okay.
Clean up a little bit of blood. I'm
So,
gonna make sure I put some water and some food inside the bubble. And then I'm just gonna be like, chuck her into the bubble. Keep moving.
so as you go to put her into the bubble, whether you're going to just kind of like allow her to go in, or if you're going to try and like lay her down, you go to approach the bubble, and as you were seeing her hand just come up and super easy, you get up to it, and that bubble is just hard as a rock. You cannot pass, but you watch as Amelia's body is able to go into it a little bit as you try to
I didn't
approach.
think I could. That's why I'm looking.
So you just drop her in, and she's in the bubble. She's there.
Right next to the bubble so that she can reach out to you if she needs it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go lay down.
Anything else you wanted to do, Carib?
Since I've come to, is the veining in my arms, is it shrunk back some since that I saw that thing leave my arm?
It's shrunk back a little bit, but you gather whatever was done probably was more of a temporary fix. It wasn't a permanent pulling out. It was more of, okay, let's juice this a little bit to lessen it.
I'm assuming if shit, I'm just not good at medicine, and Amelia's down, and I look over at Amon. Amon, do you know anything about treating infections or wounds or anything of that nature? He's covered in blood. He can't hear me. Amon, you see this shoulder of mine? It's the reason why I almost hit you in the face. Well, one of the reasons why I almost hit you in the face.
Good clarification.
This dude's asleep.
It's not down.
All right, so I'm afraid to fall asleep at the moment. What? Are you awake
Did I get
now?
it?
Huh?
No, I'm still sleeping. I just
Okay.
didn't see the light turn green or something.
I'm afraid to fall asleep right now, so I'm gonna sit up. I'm trying to clear my head.
You keep watch.
I'll keep somewhat of a watch. He's knocked out. She's knocked out. I'm the only one. The fuck, with the messed up arm is the only one. Um, can I do a nature check to see if there's any kind of natural medicinal force stuff that I can grab without that's not in the direction of the big frozen mud?
Yeah, you could do a nature check, see if you can find anything that you hope would be medicinal.
The equivalent of aloe or something of that nature, something that might be like, oh look, it's chamomile, rub chamomile on it, or oatmeal, something, anything.
Go for it. See what type of.
You know,
So 17 for my first roll, and 11. So I'll take
Damn, you have
17.
advantage on nature too.
I do.
Damn. Okay. So you're 17.
Yeah.
Okay. You're stumbling around for a few minutes. You're not really going far from camp. You're able to find a variation of thistle. You're also able to find just a few smaller moss patches that could potentially, based on their genomes, one of them could potentially help out with wounds and things like that. You definitely find some fauna, but you're not sure how well it's going to help.
All right. I'll gather them and I'll make a small pumice or whatever the case is, and I'll just leave the pumice there, and I'll just kind of monitor it. How many hours do you think I could stay awake for the first shift?
I
I'm
mean,
assuming
if
you're taking a long rest, right?
yeah, so I mean,
They're-
this would be your rest, your long rest here. It's up to you if you want to power through and just stay awake for fear of falling asleep, or whatever you want to do.
Well, I want to monitor it for 4 hours, and if I see that it expands in 4 hours, then I know that it'll be even worse in 8. But if it kind of remains the same, then I'll try to do a power nap and at least take a short rest.
Gotcha. All right. Well, with that, we'll go and have you doing your last there, and this is where we will end tonight's session. Before the new dawn goes and breaks out. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you all for watching and tuning in as always. If you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe and leave some great comments for these guys and how well you think they're doing. And we'll definitely catch you guys later.
Be critical about the zeros.
Definitely be critical about the zeros.
always. Motherfuckers.
Let's go.